Hello, Mithril here once again, getting back to Magnemmal 2, and it's time for the commentary vid on 66th place, Chomp Man by Mabskmk. I seriously don't know how to pronounce that. I'm very sorry if I'm butchering it, but I'd like to buy a vowel. Snowrun Pyro. Holy crap, calm down with the enemy placement. There's an insane amount of enemies spammed everywhere that just make you die over and over and make it basically impossible to do this level buster only. It also really doesn't help that the enemies that are spammed are some of the most annoying enemies in the engine. Sniper and Apache Joes. The Apache Joes have a horrendous tendency to jump scare you and dunk you into pits, and Sniper Joes are just Sniper Joes, obnoxious beefy time wasters. And on top of the enemy spam, there's just some seriously bafflingly designed rooms, like the room with the sheepman blocks. It's an okay concept, but you can easily get stuck if you go in the wrong order, and there's just so many enemies dumped everywhere that it's difficult to even navigate the maze. And for a level called Chomp Man, you'd think there would be more Wanans, but nope, there's like 3. And to top it all off, there's actually a pretty good boss fight at the end. It's polished and pretty okay, even if the chomp attack is unfair sometimes. It's like the level and the boss were made by 2 different people. Chippy Hornet. I'm sorry, but that level was a complete disaster. You used so many gimmicks, but they were all executed very poorly, and this level clearly wasn't designed with other players in mind. After a while, I got really tired of getting cheap-shotted by the Copter Joes, specifically the ones over the count bombs. The part with the sheepman blocks was the worst, because if you don't do it correctly, you can find yourself trapped with no way out other than to use the super arrow. If you run out of super arrow and have no M-tanks on you, whoops, too bad, you have to press the suicide key, too, and restart the section. Okay, I got trapped a different way. The only salvageable thing about this level was the boss, which was a fun fight, although it took some learning. The rest of the level was just bad. Get your levels tested by other people before you submit them. Angel. This level feels rather messy. It feels like somebody took a level and condensed it, jumbled it up to the point where it's overwhelming, and the player will have a lot of trouble dodging every obstacle and proceeding in the level. There are also ideas which only briefly make an appearance and are never seen again. I also managed to get softlocked in this level. The level needs a lot of work. I think a good place to start is by introducing features one by one, rather than dunking them all on the first screen, which allows you to ramp up the difficulty and add more features in a more controlled and less hectic environment. The boss of this level looks adorable, but I felt like his hitboxes were slightly too big. Gariri. I have many mixed feelings about this one. While I like the stage layout, the level design was awful. The main issue is that there's a serious overabundance of enemies, which are also often placed poorly. Of course, this makes the stage very frustrating. On the bright side, I like how this stage looks, and as mentioned earlier, I like the general stage layout and some sections of the level. And Spark. I don't see what's so chompy about this level. If anything, this stage has a fetish for missiles and Apache Joe. Anyway, yikes. This is a level with some really nice gimmick usage, absolutely ruined by its enemy placement and selection. Your first few screens, the ones with nothing but enemies, are absolute trash. They're really not very fun at all, as you are simply swamped with enemies. Strangely, the further you get into the stage, the better the stage becomes. Any segment without the enemy spam, I think, is really good. The stage doesn't work graphically either. Half the tile sets don't really match. I see what you were intending, but a lot of these don't work together. This may end up being a controversial opinion, but your final few count bomb screens, as well as your use of Crashman platforms, were pretty fun, and the sheepman block area would have been good had there simply not been 500 baddies overrunning the place. These few moments in the level do not make up for the fact that many other areas are slogs. I was really surprised by having the Robot Master turn up. Considering how difficult his stage is, he is a complete pushover. His attacks are largely worthless. Still, the stage is better for having him turn up than without him. Had the enemy spam been toned down, this level would have been pretty good, but the enemies just make this an awful experience to go through, and that is a real shame. I pretty solidly agree with most of that, except I really didn't like the Crashman platform room. That was a bit of a thing, again because of the enemy spam. Apache Joes! So, yeah, enemy spam was the biggest thing working against this particular stage. I wonder where in the Sheepman room you can actually get yourself soft-locked like that, though. I mean, I got locked into a place where my only option was throw myself on the death spikes, so I am curious about that. Overall, the stage was decent, but kind of felt too long, and I'm not sure how much of that is just how much I had to repeat areas because of getting overrun by enemy spam. The boss, though, that was a really nice touch. I liked that fight, and that was pretty cool. But anyway, with that, that's all for this one. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series so far, and I shall see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well. I see you over there, Search Man.